Welcome to Shatterproof Archery headquarters.
What's up?
My name's Kazdan,
I'm Gray Baby, also known as Grayson.
and today we're going to go through some comments and some unfrequently asked questions from YouTube.
You excited?
Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm intrigued because, like I said, I was reading some of the comments and some of them kind of like, dang, some straight up haters. Y'all some haters.
There are some haters out there, which I think is awesome. Not because they're haters, but because I think it can make us more shatterproof. If you know what I'm saying.
I think I know what you're stepping in. I think I smell it.
So starting out with making the world's quietest bow, a comment from that video at Dave Martin. Wrap your string in yarn from the eye to 2 or 3 inches past where the string last makes contact with the limb. And you may just want to stop there. You could put a couple puff balls. Either way, your bow won't get any quieter than what it is. I've done a hella, how do you pronounce that? Hella lot more experiments than what's on YouTube and found this is best. You know how we put the limb silencers on the limb?
Yes.
He's basically saying put the limb silencers on the string. So put a silencer on the string where it would hit the limb. He's saying wrap it in yarn. That would be interesting to test.
That would be. So basically where we have our Flemish.
Yeah, in the Flemish section, he's saying wrap it in yarn. That'd be interesting to test.
That would be interesting.
I think my guess is that it would slow the arrow down more than if you put a limb silencer on the limb, because the string has to move and throw the arrow. Whereas if you put the limb silencer on the limb still has to move, but it's going to be a lot less drag, I think.
What if we like serve that section?
Like an endless loop? We could.
But then Flemish it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We may have to test that out, Dave. The putting the limb silencers on the string instead of on the limb. He left another comment on our other silencer video. Synthetic hair extensions or off an old doll that was trashed work as good or better than anything bought or free. Seems a little creepy to me.
Have like Chucky come and haunt you from your string, dude.
Yeah. All right, guess what video this comment's from? This is Timothy Douglas. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me.
You think you're real funny with that video, don't you?
I think, so the video that we're referencing is, I did a YouTube short of Gray Baby here and Weston jamming out to, what's it called?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
They were jamming out. Yeah. I'm just a poor boy. GC Simmons replied to the short where you shot Kramer with the, where he's in the chainmail. He said, I want a job here, LOL.
Yes. I was going to say, it is pretty fun working here. You get to do stuff like that. Not very frequently, but when you do, it feels good.
It feels good.
Hey, don't lie. You know you felt good when you shot me with that arrow.
This is Gray Baby, also aka known as the Wabbit Slayer.
The Wabbit Slayer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want a job here. Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of people reach out?
We have.
What would you say is your estimate?
How many people I've asked to work here? Like directly asking, probably like 20. Now via email, it's like 1,000.
You're kidding.
But it's not like, it's like,
Blazing out
let me
like
do your social media marketing, that sort of
Okay.
stuff. Thousands and thousands, probably.
That's
Like
actually crazy.
a couple a day. But I think they're just mass marketing to small businesses. But people who actually, probably like 30 or 40. And we are hiring sometimes. We're always interviewing. We're not always hiring.
Do you want a job? Well, that's too bad.
If you're better than this guy.
It's going to be hard to do. Look, you always tell me I need to be more confident in who I am.
It's true.
So
It's true. If you can sew a glove faster than Grayson, and you're less negative than him, then you might have a job here. You might have a job. All right. I said stop using AMO on a video, and
You've said that a lot.
the carrot responded and said, this is only AMO bow length. So I was saying it's better, instead of using AMO bow length to get your string length, if you already have a string, it's better just to use that as a measurement to get a new string, because brace height affects what you want to be correct is your brace height. String length affects brace height. You use AMO to get string length. So if you already got good brace height, you don't need to worry about the rest. That was basically the point of the video. He said, this is only AMO bow length. I feel like every time you guys post things about measurements or standards, you don't really get it. It's sad, really. AMO standards describe so many things about archery products. There's AMO draw weight, which I've seen you measure incorrectly, AMO arrow length, AMO arrow spine, AMO draw length, and so on. Grayson, you know what AMO stands for?
I don't know particularly what it stands for, but like, I'm gonna say one thing on that before we go in. Like, I feel like all like AMO and all this stuff, like it's all just like kind of a rough estimate to get to the final. So it's just like with AMO, like it's still just like a suggestion, and then from there, once you get that length, you can then adjust it how you want it. If you want it longer, then you know, okay, well, this is what is suggested, but I need it a little bit longer than this. So it's all, yes, it is kind of a science, but it's also, I feel like, more of just a suggestion.
Yeah. So what you're saying is AMO isn't the end goal.
No.
AMO is a tool to help you get to the end goal.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. AMO stands for Archers Manufacturers Organization, which is...
That's a stupid name for finding out.
Well,
whatever.
No, it's now it's the ATA, Archery Trade Association, but it's basically an organization that's like, hey, let's create standards so that everyone can measure it the same. That's so that it's easier across things. But the thing with AMO is it's only helpful as far as it's useful, or it's only useful as far as it's helpful. It's not the end goal. So I think the carrot is correct.
Did you know carrots are good for your eyesight?
I did.
No.
Yeah.
You noticed too.
Yeah.
Do you know that video?
Is it a meme?
Oh, dude, it's such a good video.
No, I don't. Grayson will say memes all the time. I have no clue what he's talking about. I think he's correct. There is a AMO. He might have actually created it. I don't know. But I think there's AMO for all of these things. But yeah, it's only helpful as far as it helps you enjoy. Our goal is to help more people enjoy archery. The main point of this video was to not use AMO unless you have to. And so I think he's right. There is AMO in all these, but I think going into depth on all of that may not help more people enjoy more archery. For what I was trying to do with this video, it may be helpful to do a video on AMO for all of these things. How do you properly measure everything? And maybe we'll just start our own standard. The Shatterproof gold standard.
I like that. I'm going to bring something up real quick. So what was it that you told me yesterday about the video about that Tripoli was talking about?
Oh, when your calling becomes your idol.
So couldn't you say the same thing almost for like,
yes,
if your AMO becomes your whole fixation on everything archery?
It's like you're going on a road trip to Colorado from Kansas, and you get to that big wooden sign that says, "Welcome to colorful Colorado." And you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's
there's just nothing there.
There's absolutely nothing. And you camp there for like 3 weeks. You're like, yeah, I love my trip to Colorado. It's like, no, that's just a sign. That's a start. Like, it helps you get there, but it's not the destination.
I like that. It's not the destination. Or it's not the final destination.
Yeah. Okay, John Chan said in our glove video, he said, what do you think about using this glove in playing recurve bow and for tournament or small competition? Is that ensure the shooting accuracy and clean release? There's probably a language barrier here. I think when he's saying playing, he's saying shooting. Playing a recurve bow, shooting a recurve bow. Which that actually makes me think. I wrote a sonnet when I was in middle school, and I referenced a bow. The name of the sonnet was Misleading, and it was M-I-S-S, like Mrs., not Mrs., but Mrs., yeah. Mrs. Leading, basically.
You're punny.
Thank you. And the sonnet was about, like, having, like, dinner, but then it was actually about shooting a deer. And so it's like, I play my strings, and I was releasing the arrow. So I've actually I've used the same wordplay. And for tournament or small competition, is it ensure shooting accuracy and clean release with the glove. Glove is great for a recurve bow. A lot of people in competition, I've noticed, use tabs. I don't know if it's because it's more consistent or what. I prefer the glove because it's easier to use my hands, and I don't do competition, I hunt, and so it's nice to be able to have a glove on and use my hands. It does not ensure shooting accuracy or clean release. The main thing that's going to ensure shooting accuracy and clean release is the archer.
Yeah.
You could have the best tab, glove, whatever, and have a crazy release, or you could go bare finger and have a really clean release. So it doesn't ensure that, but being comfortable probably will help you be more consistent. And so that's where gloves and tabs can come in handy, is being comfortable. Would you add anything to that?
Well, I would say, like, because something that I could be wrong in saying is like the smoothness of the release, like coming off your fingertips. Like with gloves, like it is smooth, but like if you're looking for the smoothest, I'd say probably the Shell 300 that we offer is probably going to be the most smooth, just because it's the less, like,
there's less friction.
The type of material that we use is really smooth, and so it's just going to slide off, as the other one sometimes it has like grooves in it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, me personally, like, I like being able to feel the string.
Yeah.
And like with tabs, I don't always get that.
Right, because they're thicker usually.
Yeah. And so, like I said, as you said, like, it's not going to necessarily make you shoot any better or worse. It's more of like how you perform is how it determines what you're gonna, how you're going to shoot.
So finding something that's most comfortable for you will probably help you be more consistent, which will help you perform better. Yeah. We need to figure out, is it Shell Cordovan or Shell Cordovan? Let's look this up.
I'll just let them comment so we can do another video. And they can just like use the hyphens in between on how we're supposed to pronounce it.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know how it Shell Cordovan.
I think it's Cordiva.
How to pronounce that? Let us know. All right. At Ask Corey said to the video where we were racing between the sewing machine and the CNC sewing machine. He said, for sure at a single time, the non-automated one is slightly faster, but you put someone on that for 8 hours. I wanted to read this because Grayson's very proud of how quick he is on the sewing machine, which he should be. He's very fast. But I wanted to get his take on this. You put someone on it for 8 hours, there'll be a lot more mess ups, as well as a higher level of effort will cause a lot of slowdowns versus the automated, which is easier and safer to get through 8 hours. Okay, so we got multiple parts here. We got effort, we've got mess ups, and we've got safety.
All right.
What are your thoughts?
So for the effort aspect, when I sit on that CNC machine for, let's say, 40 minutes doing stuff, I get bored out of my mind. I'm like, because I don't have to do it. I literally just throw it in there and then I hit the button and and then I feel bad just sitting there letting it sew. But like, whereas on the sewing machine, like, you have to stay alert. So like,
keep going.
Well, I was gonna say, so like a comparison is like when you go on a long road trip, right, and you have a car that has the self-driving like cruise control, self-adaptive, like, it's great and it's amazing, but like, you get bored. For now, me, I drive a manual Jeep. When I go on long road trips in that thing, I don't ever get tired because I'm constantly having to change gears. And like when I go up a hill, dude, I'm going all the way down to 3rd, then all the way back up to 6th. So it's like that. It's like,
it's a trade-off.
Well, yeah, like when you have to stay engaged, it makes the time kind of go by quicker. And I don't know, I feel like whenever I sew something, I'm more proud of the end product because it's like, yeah, I made that.
Yeah.
Like, I put in the work and effort to get to that point, whereas with the CNC, it's just like, yeah, it's super cool watching you do it.
So yes, more effort, but it keeps you more engaged when you're actually sewing it yourself. So now that's for someone who's made thousands and thousands of leather products. For someone brand new, I mean, yes, it's still gonna be less effort, but there's gonna be a little bit more focus at the beginning on the CNC. But still, yeah, over a long period of time. What do you think about safety? Is one safer than the other?
Well, from experience with the CNC, like, as long as you're staying engaged in what you're doing, yeah, it's safe. But I can't tell you how many times I've slammed my finger when I'm pressing down the clamp. Or, like, one thing that, like, whenever we first bought the machine that they had suggested us doing is to, like, hold your finger down on, because there's another comment in this video.
Yeah, we're going to get to that comment.
What you're talking about. So, do you want me to answer this or wait until we get to that part?
Yeah, go for it. I'll read that comment real quick.
All right.
He said it's about protecting your employees, their fingers, and their health in the future. The automated machine is appreciated.
So, as I was saying, the company said that, like, leather will, like, it'll scrunch up whenever you're sewing, and it'll, like, create air pockets. So, like, if you use your finger to kind of guide it, it prevents that and it makes it look cleaner.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it's like, if you're not paying attention, like, you're going to sew right over your finger, and then you're going to have a hole in your finger from sewing. Because, like, for example, like, with the one that I control, like, if I hit my finger, like, I can stop it as soon as I feel the pain. With that thing, I have to find the off switch, and it could go, like, 3 fingers deep before I finally get it turned off.
Yeah, the likelihood of sewing your finger, though, with either machine is very low, because with the CNC sewing machine, the pressure foot doesn't move. The material moves. So you would literally have to move. I guess if you're holding your hand on the material and then held it while it moved under it, you also only have you don't have very much space, so it'd be tight to get a finger under there. It's possible, but
yeah. Well, let's put it this way: I've been here for a year and a half, and I've yet to sew a finger.
Yeah.
Which, fingers crossed and knock on wood that I don't.
Fingers crossed and sewn together.
Bro, don't say that.
Yeah, so I would say the machines are probably about similar, because with the CNC you have the pneumatic clamp, and so you could put leather in and then clamp a finger. That wouldn't be end of the world, but it would hurt a little bit probably. Yeah, it's probably similar as far as safety goes.
What was the second part of the question, like, fully again?
Well, it wasn't a question.
Well, like, what was
but his statement? We got the effort, safety, and then mistakes. Which one do you think?
All right,
has fewer mistakes?
So this is getting really. So as somebody who has sewn, like, until about February? Is that when it came in? January, February?
No, it came in November, October.
You sure?
Yep, 100%.
All right, I don't think so, but whatever.
Trust me, we were waiting for 8 months for this thing.
I've sewn a lot of products, and I've sewn a lot on the CNC as well. Like, I think for the simple products, the CNC probably does make fewer mistakes. But also, with the CNC, you have to really make sure that everything is set up correctly, because, like, the smallest thing can make... Like, we saw it whenever it was barely out of timing, and it, like, was skipping, it would break the thread. But it also goes kind of the same way with the normal sewing machine. Like, the smallest things can make a difference, but also, like, the regular sewing machine is a lot more easy to work on than the other one.
I would say that with an experienced someone on sewing, it'd be about the same as far as defects. With someone brand new, CNC is going to be way easier. They don't have to learn the skill of sewing. For you, it'd probably be about the same.
But I will say this, though. If you learn how to sew on a regular sewing machine first, it does make going into working on a CNC machine a lot easier, just because
you understand.
Well, like, I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So, like, if there's something going on, like, I can see, hey, this doesn't look like it does when I do it on this. Something's wrong. Whereas somebody new probably won't notice it. Like, I know, like, I'm not trying to throw, like, the new guys under the bus, but, like, there's been multiple instances where, like, there's something wrong, but they don't see it because they haven't made something without.
They haven't had to learn the skill. So they're just doing the process. The process is working, but it's not working.
Yeah.
And so they don't realize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
And I'm sure whenever you first were teaching me strings, I'm sure there were lots of things that I didn't see as issues, but you're like, no, that's an issue.
Yeah.
But it's just like you just have to learn and experience.
So the manual almost forces you to learn it.
Yeah.
Whereas the CNC, you can get by without realizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. All right, let's get into some juicy stuff. Steve Baker said to our string silencers test, we tested 8 different string silencers. He said, for an apples to apples test, scientific and meaningful test, requires all silencers tested to be of equal weight and placement. Not weighing them just wastes time and kills any relevancy common with backyard testing or an apples to apples test. Scientific and meaningful test requires all silencers to be tested equal weight and placement. Not weighing them wastes time and kills relevancies. I think this second paragraph is wasting relevancies. I think maybe he did it and then did like an AI version or something. Common with backyard testing. Add in hand shot and cell phone apps, notoriously inaccurate, and we all just wasted 6 minutes. Well, now we wasted 7.
Yeah. So he's saying that because we didn't put the silencers in the exact same spot, and because we didn't get the exact same weight for each string, we wasted our time with the experiment.
Exact same weight with each silencer, we wasted our time with the experiment. I think Steve is correct if every archer was weighing and putting their silencers in the exact same spot when they're using them. I think he's right if that was the case. That's not the case though. People are just gonna buy silencers and put them on, and they're gonna be, I mean, we put them close to the same spot, probably not exactly, but within an inch of the same spot in each shot. And so I think that since people are gonna be buying silencers, putting them on the string, if we were trying to, scientifically test what's the very best, then yes, Steve is right. But if our goal is to help more people enjoy more archery, we should use and put on silencers the way that people are going to, and test it that way. I'm sure there's things we could have done way better on the test, but I think it was still helpful.
Well, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? Like,
except for the people who lay it down.
What do you mean lay it down?
Their opinion. Then they're not entitled to it.
Well, okay. Like everybody's allowed to have their own opinion,
right,
whether it's a good or bad opinion. Like you're still like you're gonna think what you think, and like again, kind of going back to like the very first question that we were talking about, or maybe it was the second. Like all this is still it's just kind of like a guesstimate on our part. Like we're not sitting there and like putting on our nerd glasses and our white coat, sitting there and going through scientific experiment. Like we're just like, this is just like what we think. This is what we have experienced from shooting. How many arrows would you say you guys have shot over the 5 years?
How many arrows?
How many shots have you done?
I don't know.
You're probably in the hundreds of thousands, maybe even the millions, right?
Definitely not in the millions. That would be insane. Do you know how long it takes to shoot a shot?
I understand, but you got to remember, it's a lot of people.
How long did it take to take one shot? Let's say 10, 15 seconds?
Sure.
15 seconds.
That's
times 1 million. Divide by, 60 for minutes?
Sure. See, now we're getting into scientific stuff. Now you're proving his point.
250,000 minutes divided by 60 for hours, right? 4,166 hours divided by 24 for days. That'd be a total of 173 days straight of shooting a bow.
I'm going to say something that you're going to be really upset about.
Let's do that into, let's say it was 8-hour work days. We're shooting all day for 8 hours. That'd be 520 work days, which is like what, a year and 3/4? All right, what am I going to say about?
There's video games that I've played where I've gotten like almost that much playing time.
How much?
Like 170 days.
170 days? Bro, you better be the best in the world at that game.
It's so bad. That's the worst part. I'm addicted. I can't stop.
Well, if anyone has any advice on how to break an addiction to video games,
oh my gosh,
put it down in the comments below. Great Baby would be happy to read that.
I'm not reading them. but like, anyways,
we've shot a lot of arrows.
You've shot a lot of arrows, and so like, and you've done a lot of different variants within those shots, whether it be with different string silencers, no string silencers, yada 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 yada.
Right.
So, like I said, it's all just this is your opinion on what you think the best string solid is, and you folks can entirely have a different one, and that is completely okay. We are just giving you our preference. You can either take it or you can experiment in your own way.
That is exactly correct. That's a good point. Yeah.
Sorry.
Chris Bowman said to our video about 15 ways to upgrade cheap bow.
That's one you just released.
Wait, 15 issues with cheap bows and how to fix them. He said, unfortunately, cheaper bows are a dice roll. And he went on to say that he sets up a lot of cheap bows and he's seen it all, from cracks in the riser to negative tiller, all sorts of things. And he's exactly right. Cheap bows are a dice roll. I would say,
Oh, first,
if you're okay with draw weight being off, I'd say you got like a 80, 90%, maybe more, maybe 90% plus a chance of getting a good bow with a cheap bow. If you're okay with draw weight being off. If you're not okay with draw weight being off, I'd say you might be like 50-50 if you're shooting within like 5 pounds of what you're ordering. Maybe 60-40.
What classifies it? And you may have explained
cheap
this
bow?
in the video. Yeah, what's classified as
I call it cheap bow like anything under like 300. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any bows made in the U.S. right now that are for less than like 400. But keep your eye out.
Everything's from China.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a bow coming soon that'll hopefully be the least expensive, takedown, USA made bow.
Have you already shared how much you're going to sell that for?
No.
Do you know how much?
No.
Fair enough.
But probably between 300 and 500. Probably in that range. On that sewing video, someone said, why is he putting his hands all over the automated one? Seems dangerous. And that we already kind of addressed that. It's to hold the leather in place. And I don't think it's dangerous, do you?
Well, as you said, like the machine, like it's not the needle moving; it's the machine moving the product around.
Yeah.
So, like, as long as you like keep your hand kind of in the same place,
Right.
like you just let your finger kind of like glide.
Yeah.
You should
Then
be
you're
good.
good.
Yeah.
Bunny Assassin responded to him and said, that's how you operate them. It's not that dangerous.
See,
Bunny Assassin?
He gets it.
Bro, that's like your cousin, right? You're Rabbit Slayer, he's Bunny Assassin. That's awesome.
Hey, I found a long lost cousin.
You did? Oh, yeah.
That was.
Shout out to Wayne Stutzman.
What's up, bro?
Thanks for making some awesome arrows.
Dude, he does make some sick arrows, though.
Beautiful. All right. Our last comment for today, Tim Vaughn, on our video about different types of materials. He said, go to endless loop string, less stretch. If Flemish was a good string, they would use them in the Olympics. What do you think, Grayson?
I didn't even know they used the endless in the Olympics.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Well, I haven't really shot in a whole lot of endless loops, to be honest. I do think from what I have shot, I do think that ours are more smooth.
More smooth.
And I think I have noticed that a lot of people, whenever they have the endless or the endless loop, they still end up twisting it.
Yeah.
And then that just defeats the whole purpose of it being an endless loop, doesn't it?
Not necessarily.
Does it affect it?
I don't know. It affects the length.
Well, but with ours, it already has the twist in it, and then you can.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I think you're right that I don't know if you're right. I don't know what I'm saying that you're right about, but I think he's right that in this loop is better for Olympians. Olympians' goal. Oh yeah, that's what you read about. Flemish is smoother. Olympians' goal. They have one goal. They don't care about smoothness at all, except as it pertains to accuracy. They're trying to hit the bullseye. That's it. That's all. Yeah. Bullseye is all that counts. Most of us are not Olympians, and so there's other factors that might be more important than accuracy. So yeah, with the endless loop, for an Olympian, they're going to get the exact length that they need, and they're not going to change it. Like they're going to get the exact length. They're going to keep it consistent. All of that. For most of us, we might want to play around with different brace heights, see what feels smooth. And so buying a string that already has twists in it is helpful for adjusting brace height. You can get endless loop that already have twists, but they're usually way more expensive than the super cheap endless loop that have no twists when you get them. And so the benefit of that, having twists in it, is you can adjust your brace height shorter or longer with that. And then, yeah, I think Flemish twists are a little bit smoother.
Can you put beaver string silencers on endless loops?
You can. It's just, if it doesn't have twists in it, you might have to glue them in. Because it's just a little bit, they more easily come out because the twists don't really hold it. So you can. There are some super nice endless loop strings out there, especially with good materials and ones that are pre-twisted. They're super nice. I think for some reason the Flemish twist is a little bit smoother. I don't know if it's, here's my theory with Flemish, that it's got more, it's got the twist in the string, right? And so it's got more mass at the fade outs and twist throughout the string. And so I think that absorbs more vibration than an endless loop string does. And so it's transferred less into your hand when you shoot it. That's my guess. I don't know.
Huh. You guys also was saying, everybody that's bought a Black Hunter, you've gotten an endless loop string. Why don't you guys test out the difference and let us know?
Yeah, we include the endless loop string with the Black Hunters we sell because they come stock, and then we also include our Flemish string. So there's at least 500 of you out there that can test this side by side. Probably 1,000. Yeah, a lot. Probably 1,000 of you guys out there that can test this side by side and let us know which one you like better. That's another thing for hunting. Like, accuracy is important, but quietness matters a lot too. And so, yeah, it depends what your goal is for archery. Our goal is to help more people enjoy more archery, and so that's what we're gonna go do. Grayson's gonna make some bowstrings for you guys.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And I'm going to get ready to be gone for a couple weeks because I'm having a baby. Let's go.
My girlfriend's coming back today.
All right, stay shatterproof.
Amen.